Today on Hobby Journeys we'll be learning to base paint, looking at the latest releases and continue with our hobby journey.
Hello, welcome to Hobby Journeys. So this week on Hobby Journeys,
we'll be doing the latest releases.
We're going to be flashing back to the 90s with an old White Dwarf.
Learning to base paint our models.
Giving an overview of the game Warhammer 40,000.
And playing a game of Warhammer 40k.
So we had a trip to Warhammer World this month, didn't we?
Yes!
Yeah, so since we last did one of these episodes, we went to Warhammer World, didn't we?
There was a massive, great and clean one, Teddy.
Yeah, it was a big Teddy one, too.
What was his name?
Nigel. Was he
Nigel Nagelson?
That's right, it was Nigel Nagelson, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had your picture taken with him,
Out
didn't you?
of every miniature it was my favourite miniature.
So we got some good stuff, didn't we? So
that'll be yours. Critical here.
So I got myself the League of Votan box, because I'm going to be painting these guys up. So we've got a lot of Halfkin and some bike guys. So I like these because these are basically the squats off of the 90s. I used to have the old squat trike. I might have had a bike or two as well. I completely forget. So what did you get, Matthew?
We'll start with the main guy, Shrike.
Yeah, so you're painting him up to be in your chapter, aren't you?
He's going to be our Primarch. That's what we got him for. I also got a box of Primaris Crusader Squad.
So these are Black Templars, but you're going to be painting up for your chapter, aren't you?
Yeah.
So these are going to be painted up to be into your custom chapter that you made
They're
up.
really cool.
We'll be talking more about your custom chapter later because you picked your own colour scheme, didn't you?
Yeah. The ones without the helmets on, those are going to be changed to have helmets, aren't they, Dad?
Yeah, you wanted to have helmets on those, didn't you?
A weeny bit of kit bashing.
So we're going to look at the latest releases from Games Workshop. So there haven't been many releases since the last video we did, where we were featuring the Las Vegas Open reveals.
And the winner was the Adeptus Arbites.
Yeah, we were big fans of the Adeptus Arbites with the doggo.
Yeah, the dog was needed to go in a museum.
So this is a newly announced.
Oh, he's cool.
You like this? This is the Sicarian Venator.
What does that remind me of? Is it the French World War I tank?
So what do you think of the design of it? Do you think that gun's going to do a lot of damage?
Yeah.
You think so?
Big gun means more damage. Big gun, big damage.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had released Blood Bowl 3 on the computer.
Blood Bowl 2.
Yeah, we used to play Blood Bowl 2 a lot, didn't we?
I still have it downloaded.
Yeah.
Someone passed me my Xbox.
We've got a couple of new box sets being released. These are boarding patrols. These are for using in some of the new rules we've got that have come out recently, which are based around boarding on space hulks. So it's all themed around sort of landing on a spaceship. So we've got a box for the Eldari.
I don't like Eldari.
You don't like Eldari? Oh, I quite like Eldari.
I just like normal war.
Then we've got the Drukhari.
I don't like either of them.
So this is the box for the Eldari. So it's basically the Howling Banshees. I like the Howling Banshee models.
They look like Pennywise.
They do look a bit like Pennywise.
Who do they remind me of? Darth Vader.
Could be. So these are Corsairs, I think. So these are like space elf pirates. Almost. So that's making up the Eldari box. Then you've got the Drukhari box, who is miscellaneous dark elves in space.
I already didn't like them, but that's a new low.
Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. So you're not too keen on either of these box sets?
I've never really... Whenever you used to talk about them, I'd be like... I'm not really bothered.
Well, personally, I really like Eldari, and I love the Howling Banshee models, but I'm not quite so keen on the Corsairs. So
I don't like those Corsairs.
Not for me, maybe. Not for me. Then they're announcing some new Seraphon models at the moment. This guy's Fire Lizard.
That was loud.
So are you a bit of a fan of the new Seraphon then? Are you liking them?
Him.
Just him in general.
He's fat.
You like him?
He's so fat that I would marry him.
You like him?
Beautiful.
Yeah, you like him.
Again, he should be in a museum.
Okay.
I remember that one that was like right.
So we've got one painted in blue here as well.
No.
Not skin on the
He's
blue.
better.
Yeah. We've got new Atillan Rough Riders. Now, these were announced a while ago, but we haven't talked about them. I really like these because
They look okay.
this is an update
they look
of
like
some molds.
Russians.
So these are the new models. These were the old models back in the back off of the 90s.
Oh, those horses are so cute.
Yeah. So but they've updated them. I think they look a lot better now. They do look better. They were a bit dated with these models.
Nah, I like the old one.
You like the old ones better?
I know I usually hate the old ones. They're beautiful.
You love them, do you? So what do you like about them?
Horsey better.
So you like the horses? You think
Horsey.
You think the horses are cuter? These guys have got horses as well.
I know, but Horsey wearing armour in that one.
Oh, is it the army you don't like? You just prefer them on a au naturel horse?
Yeah, Horsey.
Well,
Horsey.
okay, fair enough. Oh, there we go.
Horsey.
Yeah, so they're cool.
Twinkle
Here we go.
toes.
We've got
Horsey.
a bit of a zoom in on the new models.
No, don't like him.
You don't like
I
them?
like the old ones.
You want the old ones?
I kind of want some of the old ones.
Okay, and lastly, for the release this month, we've got a new magazine collection from Hatchet Games. So, as you'll be well aware, we've been working our way through Imperium magazine.
Oh no, it's Age of Sigmar. Boo.
Age of Sigmar's good. I like Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar.
I'll be honest though, I'm not that keen on the two key factions in this Stormbringer box set, which is the new Stormcast. I don't mind Stormcast; they're all right, but I already collect. I've got a Space Marines force. I don't need a fantasy Space Marine force. I'd much rather one of the more interesting Age of Sigmar.
I don't like
factions.
Age of Sigmar.
I don't like the Swampy Orcs.
He's okay, but
Yeah, the other factions like Swamp Orcs, basically. So I'm not.
Swamp Orcs, what they look like. Show me a picture of a Swamp Orc.
Bit like these guys. Yeah, like him.
I don't like him.
You don't like him? Okay, well, you don't have to.
You know I don't like
You
Age
don't
of
have to.
Sigmar.
You don't have to like everything.
Whenever you use, especially when you used to talk about Age of Sigmar, I would always think, I only like 40,000. I don't like anything else.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's true. I only like 40,000. I don't like anything else.
I might get the odd magazine from Stormbringer, but I'm not going to bother. I got all of Mortal Realms.
That one looks okay. That's it. Like only because it's about stabbing.
Oh wait, that's the new releases. One of the things that I found while we were working through Imperium magazine, that because it teaches you the exact colour schemes and what to do and so on, it's good for learning the technical skills, for Matthew particularly, because it's the first real painting you'd done. But the problem was really that it wasn't really good for your creativity. You got a bit bored, didn't you? Because it's just telling you exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, I would every time we were gonna do one, I would always ask him, "Can we do a different colour?"
Yeah, because you want to be creative. You know that's the thing with kids. So what we've tried to do is, I decided what we would do is for this series we're going to pick a miniature each. So last week you saw us build those miniatures. So we built us a Space Marine each. In this week, what we've been doing is that we've put down our first base colours onto the miniatures. So,
What's a base colour?
So a base colour is just before you start shading and highlighting, you're looking for just one mid-tone, which is going to be your main colour that you're aiming for.
Our violet that we picked for our chapter.
Yeah, so what we did, wasn't it? Was that we first started by picking what we wanted that colour scheme to be. To get a bit of inspiration, we looked at the Space Marine Codex, the current edition of that. That's got features on a lot of different chapters with lots of different colour schemes, and we had to look through to see if any of those were what Matthew wanted. In the end, they weren't. But what Matthew had done to get his inspiration, he just went through different colours of paints I had in my paint drawer. He found a couple that he liked, which was a lilac,
a green,
and
blue,
a light
gold,
green.
and
Yeah.
a gold.
So then we started with our painting. So the key things you're going to need for this: your miniature, obviously, as Matthew says, some
Paint,
brushes. You're going to need
obviously,
paints.
and miniatures, obviously.
So there are some good beginner sets of paints available. Games Workshop through their Citadel range has quite a lot of good paint sets that give you a good base of colours. There are other ranges out there, such as Army Painter, Vallejo, that scale 75, I believe. I've used a few Army Painters, a lot of Citadel. Vallejo are a big favourite of mine, but normally for where I'm using my airbrush. Once you've got the materials that you need, what you will also need a pot of water. We have my reliable hot dog jar brushes. When you're first starting, probably cheaper brushes are going to be acceptable. Citadel brushes, I tend to find, are a bit overpriced for what you're getting. There are usually with a paint set or so on, you'll get a starter brush. We got a few with Imperium magazine. They're all right.
I've got a stand with it.
Yeah, they work okay. My preference was I've used a lot of Winsor Newton brushes. Artist Opus, I really like the Artist Opus brushes. These days I tend to use Rosemary & Co brushes, which are usually about £5 a piece. They're really nice. They're not particularly expensive, but they are very good quality. So that's my recommendation. So there you go. Thing to remember, when you're painting, you can
always have a miniature.
Always have a miniature, that would help. Thin down your paint. So what you're going to need to do is, and I would probably say, for every 3 or 4 big blobs of paint you're putting on, put in 1 blob of painting with water in with that paint, just to thin it down. Then mix it in. The paint that comes as it comes out of the pot is quite thick. It's going to obscure detail and so on, so you just want to thin that down. It should be, and they always say it should be the consistency of skim milk. I don't actually know what the consistency of skim milk is though.
Skim milk is about that size.
Yeah, it's not how much of it is. It's consistency.
What does that mean?
So the key thing is thin down your paint, but then you're going to want to put on at least a couple of layers of it. So usually when I'm putting that base colour on, I'm going to do 2 or 3 layers of the paint. Well, you just need to make sure it's nice solid colour. You're not seeing through it whatever the colour that was below it was.
Grey.
So we painted for this were these guys. So basically we've just painted all over in lilac, and then a bit of green on the shoulders.
We still haven't completely finished them though. We still got to.
Yeah, so need to do the weapons and so on, don't we? So what we've also done is a bit of painting.
We have finished.
Well, we have finished. Well, these aren't finished yet. We still need to do the detail on them, but there's a bit more done on these guys. So
Shrike.
Yeah, so you built him yourself, didn't you? You built all of him. Yeah, so you built Shrike.
Well, I did have a bit of help.
Well, not a lot. You did most of him. You did almost all of him, in fact. And then you painted them all yourself, didn't you? So what we haven't done is finished off the detail, like the face and so on like that. There's a few things. The gun probably needs a bit more
silver on.
Yeah,
I could see a tiny bit of green coming through on mine,
but yeah. But they're up to a decent stage now where we've got the base colours on. We will be doing some shading on these, a bit of highlighting, but that's for a later video.
Well, we've just looked at new models. Now
so we look at some old ones. So what we're going to be doing is having a bit of a flick through White Dwarf issue 182. Yeah, so this is going back to the 90s. I think this will be about February 1995, this is. So I'd have been 15 when this came out. I had this copy. So on the front cover we've got a Chaos Space Marine. Recently for Warhammer Plus they released a model as the free miniature for year 2, which is a re-envisaging of the Space Marine in this cover. It was originally based upon this model of Horus.
He looks massive in that, but then tiny in that.
Yeah, well, this is the model that was built for the diorama that we saw at Warhammer World. So we saw this actual miniature. So this picture from 30 years ago, we've seen that model.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that and went to Warhammer World. So this is part of the diorama featuring the Emperor and Horus with also Sanguinius, but he's dead at that point, so you know. And they painted this cover for it. This is a real classic image. I really like this. So around this time, we had just had Titan Legions released. That's a Mega Gargant and an Imperator Titan. So this is what's called epic scale. So in this scale, your troops are just tiny little, about that big. So this is the game that I probably played the most in the 90s. Me and my next door neighbour.
The Dalek looks massive compared to them, though.
This issue was released in 95, so this was concurrent with second edition of Warhammer 40,000, which had been released in 1993, I believe. So we've got a battle report, which is Ultramarines and Imperial Guard. So around this time, we just had a reissue of the Imperial Guard range, and they brought in for the first time different factions from different planets. So you had the Rough Riders from Attila, you had the Catachan Jungle Fighters, so they came from a jungle world.
Oh, I thought they'd be from Vietnam.
They were a little bit Vietnammy. They were a little bit that way. And then we had a big orc force as well. See, these guys haven't changed that much, really. They're quite recognisable. You can, the Dreadnought's not that far from the...
That's what Dreadnoughts are like.
Yeah, back then.
Oh, Dreadnoughts.
The shock attack gun's still a thing. You can see back in the background. So this was the Warhammer 40,000 box set. This came with... I had this. I got this at the time. With all of the you got like 20 Space Marines, loads of Orcs and Gretchen. That was cool. This was classic, by the way, absolutely classic. That artwork on the cover is absolutely gorgeous.
Has it always been 40,000?
Yeah, always 40,000.
I thought like every year it would change like up 1,000, 10,000 years.
No, this is basically what it was. There we go. Anyway, that's issue 182. So what do you think of that? What's your favourite miniatures you've seen from February 1995?
None of them, no horses!
You didn't like them? Well, we had the... So, let's just go back a second, because, as I say, the Rough Riders of Attila, these are the old miniatures of the Rough Riders of Attila that we were talking about earlier.
Horses!
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you those ones.
Okay, well, they're your favourites in this magazine. Nothing... Okay, so maybe I can tempt you with some Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Okay.
Here we have some horses right there, Reichsguard, I think.
No.
No?
Still not as good.
Oh, here we go. This is what the Imperial Knights looked like back in the day.
No.
No, not liking.
Nothing's better than horsey.
What about, can I tempt you with a Space Marine Land Speeder? Look at him. Oh, beautiful. Look at the bright colours. Look at those bright...
The only thing good about it is the colours, but I don't like the model. Horsey!
Look at the bright colours. That was how it was back in the day.
Horsey!
The game Warhammer 40,000 is structured with two forces opposing each other, with one player controlling each force. Each player is going to take it in turns to carry out a number of different sequences of phases. They will run through all those phases, then it'll be the turn of the other player. The core phases, like the most important ones, are going to be your movement phase, when you move your miniatures. That's going to be followed by the shooting phase, where you're going to shoot at all your long-range weapons against your opponent's miniatures. And then finally the combat phase, where you're going to carry out close combat. So at that point, miniatures can charge, which means they'll make a last run into combat, and then you'll fight. And ultimately some might die, I guess, probably. If you're playing it right.
Unless you absolutely demo your opponent.
Yeah, well, you could table them in one go, and that would be a thing. Yeah, so that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I have tabled you before, that was nice. In addition to those three core phases, you've got a number of different phases we're going to move through. So the first one is going to be the command phase, which is where some of the characters have got special abilities and so on, and some team-wide abilities they're going to carry out. After the movement phase, the psychic phase. So if you've got any units that have got psychic abilities, they're going to carry those out. And finally, in the morale phase, this is where units who have taken a lot of damage, they might try and run away. So that's ultimately the way the sequence of events is going to go. It's going to have the command phase, the movement phase, the psychic phase, you're going to have the shooting phase, then the charge phase, which precedes the fight phase, so those two make up the close combat phase, then finally you're going to have that morale phase. But as I say, the key ones that you're going to have, and that's when we've been learning to play, typically the ones we've focused on have been the movement phase, the shooting phase, and then the charge and fight phase. So we played a battle that should show a few of these phases, so we're just going to be focusing on those movements and shooting and fighting. This is going to be one of the smaller battle scenarios within Imperium magazine, which is just played on a small board and just allows a few of those rules to be played out. This battle is called Total War. 3 Assault Intercessors and 2 Aggressors versus 2 Scorpec Destroyers and 5 Necron Warriors. This time it's going to be Space Marines to start, so that's you. Yeah. So do you want to kick off?
And everyone. And I'm going to shoot 2D with the Scorpion Destroyers with the Chunkers.
Okay, that's fine. So the Scorpion Destroyers are going to be doing a d6 of a number of attacks each. So you can actually advance with them and shoot, but you will get a -1 on your shooting if you do that.
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that? That's absolutely fine. So do you want to roll 2d6 for the number of attacks you're going to get? So that's 3 attacks. So you're going to be hitting on a 3+. So do you want to roll 3 dice? So,
all 4.
So all 3. Oh, right, they're all 4. I see what you mean. You shoot at the Scorpion Destroyers, weren't you?
Yeah.
So they've got toughness of 5, so you're going to be wounded on a 5 or a 6.
Black, I choose you!
So that's 2 of them. So let's roll the 3+ save. Oh wait. Only 2. Save. And save both of them. So what about your assault intercessors? Who are they going to shoot at?
The Necron Warriors.
Okay, that's fine. Well, you've got 3 dice for your bolt pistols. They have 1 attack each with that. It's going to be 5 or a 6. I've saved, so no Necron Warrior dead this time. So I'm going to move forward with my Scorpion Destroyers.
Oh no, oh no.
So you can move forward to here to begin with.
And now we're going to charge.
And then I'm going to shoot with these guys at your assault intercessors. So I've got rapid fire with the Gauze Flayer, which is going to be 2 dice for each one because we're within 12 inches. So if you're within half the range of the full range, you get double the number of hits with a rapid fire weapon. So I've got 5 of them, so you're going to be doing 10 attacks. So hitting on the 3+. And assault intercessors this is. So missed that one, but not bad otherwise. So we're going to be wounding on a 4+. Come here dice. Oh god, right. Wounds on the 4+. Going around that now. So that's pretty good actually. So I've got 6 of wounded because we wounded on the 4+. That was pretty good. So you can save with a I don't think it. So with a 4+. So you got 1, 2. It's a 1 over here. Yeah, what's that? So 1. So you've saved 2. That's still 4, which means you're taking 4 wounds. Because each Space Marine has 2 wounds, that means you're losing 2 Space Marines. So I'm going to now charge into combat with the Scorpion Destroyers. I don't need to roll for the charge because they're close enough. So we'll do the one with the Threshers first. So he has got an extra attack, so he's going to get 4 attacks. And he's going to be hitting on a 3+. So that's all of them. He's then got strength of 5 and your toughness of 5. So he's going to be wounded on the 4+. Oh, what was that one? Yep, so 2 of them. It's got -3, so you can save on a 6. So roll a 6 to save. None. So it's doing damage of 2. So you're taking 4 damage. So that's going to be 4 wounds. So I think that's going to be one of them off. But because they have to be assigned to the one model, it's just 1 off. Okay, so the other one though, with the Thresher Blade. I remember the last time we played this battle, it was brutal from the Scorpion Destroyers.
I know.
You should have gone with them really, shouldn't you?
I did in the first game.
Yeah, I think you did, didn't you? Absolutely thrashed me. I don't think I lost. I don't think you lost the model as the Necrons.
No.
Right, so 3 dice. So hitting on with the Reap Blade this time, which is going to be hitting.
I didn't know they had different weapons. I thought they were the same.
It's hitting on the 3+. So that's 2 of them. So we're going to be wounding on a 3+. 2 of them. And you can't save this time because of -4 damage penetration. So that's another 1 off.
Can I please surrender?
Come on, you got one guy left. It's all on this one guy. I haven't lost the model yet.
My go.
Two of them. And you can save on a 3+. You failed one. Or you failed both. So he takes 2 wounds. And that is your last success.
Wait, no, that is the captain.
No. So that's hobby journeys for this month. That was good, wasn't it?
Month?
Yeah, we do monthly ones now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not weekly. Well, we never really did weekly. We were lucky if we got them.
We did more like we were more like Dennis monthly.
Yeah, something like that.
If Dennis wasn't Dennis Dilly, it was Dennis monthly. Oh my god.
I don't know what you're talking about, Matthew.
If Dennis Dilly, the guy who I used to be obsessed with.
You used to have a cat onesie, didn't you?
Yeah, Jelly Bean ate it. But she ripped.
Something like that.
She ripped it.
Anyway, that was good.
She ripped the bottom part.
Yeah. So we've done quite a lot of hobby, haven't we? So yeah. Anyway.
What do we say to their viewers?
We say your job is to say, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.